Alright, hello again, Fleet Commanders. Tiberius here with another quick video for you. Today's a shorter video, kind of in that little bit of a lull, and it's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. So, for those of you newer to the game, every month we have our Battle Pass, our story arc event, and the event lasts 20 days. So there's more days than that in a month, so they have to sort of find time to fill in the gap there between when the next event starts. They only do one Battle Pass, one story arc per month, so depending on when it ends, you'll have a little bit of extra time. This last one just ended a couple of days ago. They always start events and new arcs on Tuesdays. They bring the server down for a couple hours, they push out the new content, bring the servers back up, and then at noon Eastern time, the Battle Pass goes live and the new monthly event arc starts. So it's Friday, February 4th. Last Battle Pass ended a couple of days ago. The new one will start this upcoming Tuesday, the 8th. That'll run for 20 days through the end of February. Then you'd have March 1st being the next Tuesday, but they won't start the event that day. You'll have probably another week or so, and then on March 8th they'll start the next Battle Pass. Uh, when they run said Battle Pass, when it ends, there's usually a couple of predictable events that they rotate through to kind of fill up that time. Crucible of War is one of them. That's the one that we're finishing up right now. It's a 3-day event. You've got 3 solo milestones and then an alliance milestone. Get you some pretty good stuff. These gold trophies scale by level, I believe. I forget at what point they kind of cap out at. 400 is the most that I can get here. Otherwise, it's just some par steel tokens and par steel, and then you get 400 of these gold trophy tokens. The Alliance leaderboard here, the first one starts at 800,000 points. It's intended, you only receive rewards for any milestone if you have scored at any point before its completion. So they don't want people getting to this first milestone too quickly. So this 800,000 one does take a little time for your alliance to get to. Make sure you score at least 1 point for your alliance before they get there. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on that first reward. And then subsequently, the rest of them come along pretty quickly. 940, just over a million, 1.2, 1.3, these ones come along pretty fast. So if you haven't scored right away, just go kill one thing. That's the easiest way to do it, is to kill hostiles. Any hostile gets you 1 point. So as soon as this event starts, go kill one thing, even if it's just a level 1 red ship. Just kill it, get a point, get on the board, and then you can worry about doing everything else later. You don't want to miss out on any points or any of these Alliance event trophies, because those are what you cash in for your rewards. That's what I'm working on right now. So as you can see, I'm up to level 43 now, and I'm basically just doing my faction dailies, which require me currently to kill 47s, and there's no 47 miners here. We'll just go to this good old system. While I'm flying, we'll take another look real quick here. So for the individual milestone, I have to get 1.8 million points for me. Obviously, like I said, this scales by level. But hostiles here, level 47s, 48s that I'm going to kill, they're 100,000 points apiece. So that's kill like 18 things and I'm done. Not bad at all. And again, it'll scale by level. If you're a little lower, your point total will be lower, but so will, obviously, the stuff you can kill will probably be more closer to in here. The other ways to do it, you can also tier up a ship and spend materials on ships. Usually don't recommend doing this because there's enough ways to kill things to score points. You're going to have to kill stuff anyway, like I said, for your dailies. For your swarm dailies, you're killing stuff in this range probably, getting some points. You've got your faction dailies as well that you're killing stuff for, so just between that, you probably won't have to do a lot of extra killing as long as you plan your day out accordingly. And then you can save the spend materials for the actual battle pass, when there's usually some type of spend points to get officer shards or a leaderboard or something, and you can do your big upgrading then. The other event we just finished up was Faction Hunt. It was a 2-day solo event and then a 3-day alliance one. It was like they didn't want to overlap, I guess, so they cut the individual milestones. Usually it's a 3-day event, but they cut the individual one down to 2 days and then left the alliance leaderboard up for an extra day. Again, that one, the alliance leaderboard only gives you points for killing, so it doesn't really matter what you kill. And it, I guess, was just to prevent people from having to do too much grinding. Although, again, if you're doing your faction dailies in your faction hunt, uh, it would overlap. It would double up. So I guess they didn't want that to happen. Um, the other events, they've been doing a Borg event the last couple of months here, which involves using the Vidar and going to kill some Borg probes for a day or two, and then it'll then make you go kill like the Borg armadas for one day as well. That's one they've done the last 2 or 3 months. They used to do an Apex event. The first day was data mining. The second day was killing Eclipse stuff, and then the third day was doing Eclipse armadas. And then that would give you these Apex research tokens that you really can't get any other way. Let's go into the research tree, show you what I'm talking about. So there's a few things here. These Apex getaway pilots, these tokens, these research medals. The only way to get them is through the Apex events, and there's a couple of different researches. You've got the getaway pilots here, Chop Shop for scrapping. This Apex Rogue Notoriety requires them, so there's a few researches that require them. So that's another one that they usually rotate. It was usually the three of them. They kind of tried to mix it up and rotate the Borg in the last month or two. Maybe just to keep it fresh, or people were complaining. Not really sure about that. So this little lull is always a good time to do things like get your mining done, stock up on extra resources that you might need for upcoming events. Good time to do some faction rep grinding. Also a good time to sort of maybe take a mental break. Kind of just get done what you need to get done. Throw up a 12-hour or 24-hour shield and come back tomorrow. And just sort of take a break, get some real life stuff done too. So it's always good to take breaks from the game once in a while so you don't get too burned out here. But as you can see, I'm already hitting that first milestone. So with Faction Hunt, when that comes up, I highly recommend you do all 3 faction kills. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. Even if you're like, I'm trying to grind, we'll look at my factions real quick. Like I'm trying to grind, nope, that's not it. It's this one. Like I'm trying to work on Romulan rep. I'm trying to get to this champion, so I'll get faction locked there at 1 billion points. Obviously it's going to take me a while. So conventional wisdom would say, well then don't do the Romulan, the one that has the Klingon one that makes you kill Romulans. Do it anyway. Get the Ultra Recruit tokens, get the faction credits. It's definitely worth it. Especially now that they have the skirmishers in the new systems for Romulans and Klingons that don't take away your faction points, reputation for killing them. But even if they did, you can offset that pretty easily. Just don't kill Romulan miners. I would kill regular explorers or battleships or whatever ship I was using to work to my advantage. And then when I'm doing the other ones, I'll kill the miners to sort of make up the points. Not really that big of a change, but now that the other option, scout. But also now with the new systems that they added in the last arc. Where are we? Here we are. So right here, just off the middle here, you've got these little cluster of systems right here. In Klingon space, these are Romulans that have invaded Klingon space. They are all battleships. But if you look at the rewards, there is no faction change rewards for these. So I can kill these Romulans to complete my faction hunt and not lose any reputation. And then over here in Romulan space, there are a bunch of Klingon interceptors that you can kill that also do not take away. Now the lower level ones give regular resources, and when you get to the 40s, there's got to be a 40 in here somewhere, right? There we go. They switch from resources to giving you the broken 4-star parts that you need for your refinery, so then you can try and get lucky and get those into the common and uncommon parts that you need to upgrade your ships. So again, highly recommend them all. Even just getting the Ultra Recruit tokens, definitely worth it. That's going to help you with leaderboards. It's going to help you just getting officer shards for officers you have, getting transporter patterns for ones that you don't have, or for ones that you've already maxed out, so then you can convert those into better officers. Plus, you never know when they're going to update that and add new officers too. So even if you think you've got all the ones you want, you got to be a pretty high level to be at that point, though. But even just, it'll get you a way to speed up getting to an officer. Transporter patterns, again, are received when you've received all of the shards necessary for an officer. You don't even have to tier them up. But if you have the maximum number of shards that it would take to tier up that officer to his highest level, after that point, you just start getting, I want to kill some 46s, you just start getting the transporter patterns. And then in your recruit tab, all the way over here, you can see the different officers that become available. The guys you usually want to focus on are these 3 right here. You want to get them up. They all take different amounts too, which I think is weird. Like Charvanek, to get to her max, takes 760, as does Kang. But Marcus costs 960, because I guess they just figure he's better, so he costs more. Not really sure how they came to that conclusion. They're probably right. I mean, obviously there are more explorers out there, so having his, the explorers are probably the more popular ship class, because that's what the Enterprise is, and Games Federation heavy. So you're gonna see a lot of Enterprises out there. So I guess they figured Marcus is going to be the most popular officer, so we'll make him cost the most. 200 shards more than the other 2. Obviously, he's a good one to get. Those 3 are good ones to get. And then, Khan and 6 of 11. These guys cost an awful lot of shards to get at that max level. Plus, he requires independent tokens to upgrade. The Borg officers require independent credits, as well as the nanoprobes as well. So they're pretty expensive to upgrade. I've been sitting on an upgrade for my 6 of 11. I want to call him 6 of 10, but he's 6 of 11 now. For quite some time, because it's like 13,000 independent credits and like 450,000 nanoprobes, 475,000 nanoprobes. So the other cool thing, I guess, about this particular event, the Crucible of War, are the different, we talked about the gold tokens that you get. You can use these in the gold trophy recruit. These are some pretty basic officers. If there are, officers in here, you get 5 shards. It's pretty heavily weighted toward uncommons, a little bit of rare, pretty unlikely to get epics. But if there are some rare officers that you're still lacking on, obviously these guys have all maxed out, but like Yuki, Moreau, Mirek, I do still need a couple shards for. This is a slightly better chance to try to get them than some of the other packs, because some of the other packs have just more people. This looks pretty similar to the Premier pack, except the Premier pack also has some Borg officers in it. And a few other people in it, so it does sort of dilute the pool a little bit. So if I'm pulling premium packs trying to get those 3 officers I'm missing, I could also end up getting, some of these Borg guys, some of these Borg officers as well, or some of these other lesser officers that aren't in that particular pack. Still not a great idea to spend your recruit tokens here. The gold trophy one, which I can't show you, which is pretty similar to this one. It just costs different. Actually, it's identical to this one. So the silver trophies and the gold trophies recruit packs are the same. The cost is different. It costs 900 gold for me to do that, but the rewards are the same. Silver trophies you can only get by buying the $100 bundle in the store. chance to get some independent credits, chance for relocation tokens that most people don't usually need. Ship XP isn't bad. A good chance here at some rare Armada directives. Uh, this month was the first time I can remember in the last 6 months that I actually got rare Armada directives out of this. I got 100 this time, and I was ecstatic about that. Usually I get like a relocation token, some ship XP, and some green Armada directives. And I'm just like, okay, well, I guess it was still better than, a couple of these generic officers, which maybe might have turned into, uh, ultra recruit tokens. This also has a cooldown on it too, which is weird. So if you're just like, oh, I'll just do one pack and get 50. Let's see what we get. Transporter pattern, Azau, Mirek, and Officer XP. And then that has a 22-hour cooldown on it. So I also can't just keep pulling them, as I get more things. Now I have to wait until tomorrow. So also kind of weird. Kind of could use a little bit of an updating here on that. The other thing were the Alliance packs. So at level 43, I'm getting 4-star materials. Not a whole lot here. I think this is pretty much the same for everybody 40 plus. This amount might change. This looks pretty similar to other people. 180, and I can only do it twice, and it costs 8,000. You get 32,000 if your alliance finishes all 2 million points. If you're in a top alliance, that'll be done in the middle of day 2. If you're in a smaller alliance, maybe not quite as active, you'll probably finish that up before the end of the event or get really close to it. If your alliance is struggling to even get to the first 1 or 2 milestones, probably it's either very small and new, or you have a lot of inactive players, a lot of part-time casual people who just don't log in on a regular basis. And then you might want to start shopping around for a new alliance. I know that was one of the motivating factors for me. Were certain events like Crucible of War that we were just never finishing. We'd get to like the one, day 3 we're scrapping to hit the 800,000, and it's like, all right, let's go a little more. Maybe we can get the second one and get to the 940 or whatever it is. And we weren't even coming close to the million point threshold. And then it was like, oh, and that's how and then we started leveling up. We got a few more active players, and we hit 1 million, and we're like, okay, great. But like that's kind of where my first alliance, that's kind of where it topped out. It was right in that 1 million, second, third milestone. So, if you're a little lower level, obviously you're going to get 3-star materials out of these packs. They're all the same in terms of what you get, just or how they're spaced out. You're limited to 2. You've got Parsteel and ore, titanium and crystal, dilithium and gas packaged together. The speed ups, not a good pack. Don't recommend really spending your points to buy this. It's not really a whole lot. You get the same value or better value out of the weekly discovery. So why spend your monthly reward on something else? The discovery, if you're level 40, gives you these. But again, these may not be available to the lower level players either in this pack. So if you're level 25, you might only see like a couple of these, and you're just like, am I going to spend my points on that? No. The Armada Pack is a great one to buy. You're limited to 1. It says that. I'm fairly certain, though, because if you do it right away, the cooldown on it, like this is 1 day, 16 hours. This is 1 day, 23 hours. I feel like I've gotten away with 2 on some of this, or extras on some of this stuff, because of the timers. Like this tells me it's available again, even though I've hit my 2 per event. The Scopely mechanics don't always work right, and when you have that little 3-hour window, I feel like certain months I've snuck an extra 1 in. You never know when they're going to close that window, so I'm not going to guarantee you that you'll be able to do that too. But if you only need gas, maybe you take the chance that maybe you'll still have 3 hours. So if it doesn't refresh and it doesn't give you a third opportunity to get gas and dilithium, then you just buy something else before the month ends. But the rare Armada Pack here is guaranteed. It's 200 rare Armada directives and 300 green uncommon Armada directives. That's guaranteed. That costs 16,000 of your credits, so that's basically half. So you can get this once and then 2 of something else. and then that's it. I don't know where I got these other points. These are probably from when I was a lower player and we weren't finishing all the time. I don't know how I got 18, but yeah, we got 18 somewhere. Um, so they're just going to float around. So I got, you get 32,000 a month, I guess. At least that's what I do for the alliance finishing. So I always take this and then whichever of these resources I need. You look at it and you're like, oh, 100 and it's 360, 370 point, uncommon. If you're in your 20s and 30s, that certainly seems like a lot. If as you get into your 40s, that number really not a whole lot to write home about. Just to give you an example, this is my level 41 ship dock. That requires 4,500 for every ship dock. I have 5 ship docks, so that's 18, 23 and a half thousand, 22 and a half thousand to upgrade all the ship docks and crystal. So getting 360 crystal, not really putting a dent in it. I just hit level 43. I would love to upgrade my research and development facility, but it costs almost 11,000 gas. So again, getting 360, 370, not really putting a big dent in that. Just to give you an example, now even when you get to 42 and you start looking at, now this starts requiring rares. That's, not too bad there. Um, but these start also requiring, these are all commons. I'm trying to find something else that I can look at. There you go. Upgrading the shuttle bay, 8,200 plus 1,900 rare. So again, the 370 and the 100 rares that you get, uh, not really putting a big dent in stuff. So everything gets much more expensive at the higher levels, and I guess you just have to be either incredibly patient or you have to invest. How much is your time worth to you, and is that worth a $99 pack here and there? That's up for you to decide. But thank you guys all very much for tuning in and watching the video. Hope you learned something about the in between the Battle Pass arcs. We'll call it the lull before the storm. Uh, get you some different ideas about the events that you're going to be dealing with, some suggestions for other things you can do to fill in the free time, or of course just taking that mental health break that we all need from time to time. So be sure to like this video on YouTube. Leave comments below if you want. I'm pretty good about answering those. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. I'm also usually on Twitch. You tend to live stream a lot of these videos, so you can follow me over there. And then when I go live, then you can ask live questions, and actually we can have an interactive discussion when I'm right there on Twitch. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a great weekend, and see you around the galaxy.